The legend of how the mountain conquered strength sports. There's a moment in sports when reality bends just enough to let in the impossible. Jordan in '98, Tiger in 2019, Brady in Super Bowl 51. And then there's Hafþór Björnsson, a man who deadlifted 501 kilograms in front of a quarantined world and essentially asked, "Is that it?" When Thor Bjornsson pulled 1,104 pounds off the ground in May 2020, it was more than just a record. It was a defining moment in strength sports, a coronation of a man who had conquered the impossible across multiple disciplines. He was no longer just the mountain from the Game of Thrones. He was the world's strongest man, a real-life Norse god who had just done something that made your back hurt just watching it. But let's rewind. The freak of nature phase. Like most terrifying strength athletes, Thor wasn't built so much as he was unleashed. Born in Iceland in 1988, he had the genetic lottery locked up by the time he was a teenager. His grandfather was a literal Viking-style farmer who lifted boulders for fun. This is a real thing in Iceland, by the way. Strong men get their start by tossing around rocks that could be mistaken for small vehicles. By the time Hafthor was 19, he was already a pro basketball player, and he had that look, 6'9", freakish athleticism, hands the size of frying pans. He was playing in the Icelandic leagues, running the floor like a demigod, when fate intervened. His joints, knees specifically, decided they had had enough of the running and jumping thing. So in a move that could only happen in Iceland, Thor was basically told, "Hey, you should try Strongman." Within 2 years, he was winning Iceland's strongest man. By 2015, he was a perennial podium finisher at World's Strongest Man, getting edged out by guys who had been competing since he was a teenager. Then came 2018, the year of domination. Thor was tired of coming in second. That's the thing about Strongman. It's not just about who lifts the most, it's about who survives the season. The competition schedule is brutal. The events are physically wrecking, and even if you're the strongest, if you make one small mistake on a single event, it's over. But in 2018, Thor went nuclear. He won everything. Arnold's Strongman Classic? Won it. Europe's Strongest Man? Won it. World's Strongest Man? Won it. He didn't just win, he dominated. The 2018 World's Strongest Man wasn't just a victory, it was an annihilation. He outperformed the field across multiple events, making 400-pound objects look like Amazon packages. It was the kind of win that made the whole "is he the strongest ever" debate very, very real. The 501-kilogram deadlift. There's something almost mythical about the 500-kilogram deadlift. Before 2016, nobody had even sniffed it. Then, Eddie Hall pulled it and basically blacked out immediately afterward. Hall's lift was so insane that his body shut down. He started bleeding out of his nose, and he swore he'd never do it again. But Thor? He saw 500 kilograms and thought, "Yeah, I got this." In 2020, while the world was in lockdown, Thor did what seemed impossible. He lifted 501 kilograms. The heaviest deadlift ever recorded. He didn't pass out, he didn't bleed. He pulled the weight, stood there like it was another Tuesday in Iceland, and then walked off like he had just finished warming up. It was the strongman equivalent of Wilt Chamberlain dropping 100 points. Unbelievable, ridiculous, almost unfair. The beef with Eddie Hall, or strongman's first true rivalry. Strength sports aren't exactly known for their drama. This isn't the NBA, but in Thor's case, there was real beef. Eddie Hall and Thor had been rivals for years, culminating in some heated accusations after the 2017 World's Strongest Man, where Thor believed he was unfairly scored on a Viking press event, which, side note, is the most Viking thing to argue about. By 2021, the beef turned into a full-on boxing match. Two giants, literal mountains of men, throwing hands in what was possibly the most hyped strongman event of all time. And here's the kicker. Thor trained like a real boxer. He dropped weight, got fast, and when they finally fought in 2022, he looked really good. He outboxed Eddie, knocking him down multiple times and winning by unanimous decision. So let's take stock. Dominated strongman. set the biggest deadlift ever, transitioned to boxing and won a high-profile fight. Oh, and casually acted in one of the most successful TV shows of all time. The legacy of a modern Viking. Thor isn't just a strongman, he's a pop culture force. A throwback to when strength athletes weren't just weight room recluses, but larger-than-life figures. Think Paul Anderson, think Cass, think Arnold. Guys who could win a contest, then walk into a movie set or a commercial and not look out of place. The scary thing? Thor isn't done. He's only in his 30s. He's hinted at coming back to strongman, maybe even challenging the 501 kilogram deadlift again. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that when Thor sets his mind to something, the world should probably pay attention. Because if you thought 501 kilograms was insane, just wait until he tries 510.